Hey guys, I'm Mel, and today I actually want to try something a little bit different. I actually want to start a new series on my channel, and this has all kind of come about from the fact that I've kind of lately realised that I've been watching a lot less anime than I ever used to. And this is kind of sad because it's something I really used to enjoy doing. I guess a little bit of history as to how I started watching anime. Some really good friends of mine own an anime store, and quite often I used to get to watch a lot of the new series that came out to kind of help them out to be able to recommend new things to their kind of customers. So the upside of this is I got to watch a whole heap of different types of series that I normally probably wouldn't usually go for, and a lot of them are really great. I kind of started realizing that a lot of, there'll be a lot of people, especially in non-Japanese countries, who watch a lot of like the big anime. So like your Naruto, your One Piece, your Dragon Ball Z, a lot of your really big popular series, and that's great, don't get me wrong. I mean, they're great series, but there's so many small series which kind of go under the radar and get missed out so much, which is such a huge shame because they're really good, and usually they have great stories. So these are kind of some of the ones that I want to kind of recommend to you guys and give you suggestions as to what you can watch. Because it's October and Halloween's coming up, the series I want to share with you guys today is kind of a bit of a psychological horror one, which is called Another. So Another is kind of your quintessential Japanese horror kind of genre, and it's one of the, so an anime which just builds tension and kind of that creepy atmosphere so well that I think I like marathon watched this in about a day. It's 12 episodes, so it's not so long, and it's actually adapted off a light novel. So I mean, I think whenever you get something that's adapted from like a large series into like a very short anime series, or you get something that's adapted from a novel into a very short anime series, I think some of the detail and some of the characterization gets lost a little bit. And while I feel that's the case, like there's a couple of the main characters, I think May is one of them, who I really wish I'd seen kind of more about her and her like backstory, because I think they miss a lot of that out, considering she's kind of such a major kind of linchpin character in the series. That aside, this kind of series, for how short it is, builds the drama and the tension so beautifully that it just creeps you out the entire time that you watch it. So it's really good. Okay, so kind of a bit of a synopsis on the plot of Another, and I don't want to give too much away, guys, because I think particularly with this particular series, it's one of those ones that you kind of have to watch and experience for yourself to enjoy it. Kind of part of the joy and part of how the creepiness is actually built up is, kind of finding things out and not really understanding what's going on for a large part of the anime. So I'm going to give you guys bare basics. Okay? Not too many spoilers. Alright, so the concept is you follow the main character, who's actually a transfer student into a new high school. Because his dad's work is overseas, he's actually moved in with his maternal grandparents, and he's actually about to attend the, I think, junior high school that both his mother and his aunt both attended. And he's actually in the same class as they both were in. So due to illness, he's actually missed the first month of classes, and he kind of gets dropped into the middle of this kind of very weird situation in his class. So he doesn't quite understand what's going on. He's missed out on a lot of information, and you kind of stumble along and try and figuring it out as he is. So I think that's kind of a really interesting way of how they've kind of developed that plot. So I guess bare basics of how, what's happening in the class is this particular class, due to what some students have done 30 years ago, is actually cursed. So unless there's particular preventative precautions taken out by the student council of that particular class, every single month until graduation, at least one person from the class or one of their very close relatives or friends will actually be killed in very kind of strange final destination-y kind of manner. So pretty much throughout their whole anime, they're kind of trying to figure out what's going on, how they can stop this, and kind of the reason behind why this curse has kind of come about and been brought onto their particular class. And to be honest, I think my favorite thing about this series is the fact that the tension is just built so beautifully in such a short time. You're kind of left wondering what the hell's going on 90% of the time, and yeah, the other half you're kind of just waiting to see who will be next to kind of like bite the dust. So yeah, it's just built very, very well. And I think that's, I kind of almost expect that from Japanese horror. That's kind of one of the quintessential aspects of why I love that kind of particular horror myself, is that I find that, the more the creep factor and the more tension that's built, I find it scarier. I'm not a big fan into like gratuitous gore or splatter. I don't really find that scary. I just kind of find it gross 90% of the time. But I find Japanese horror is one of my favorite genres for the fact that it just builds the creep factor and just gives you that heebie-jeebie feeling, which is just the best part of watching horror movies in my opinion. Having said this, the gore factor in this particular anime is quite high. I mean, I think I watched, a couple of years back I watched, what was it called? Is it Rin, Daughters of Nemosine? Anyway, which was interesting, but it's nothing to that level because it's quite full on and quite gory. So it's nothing to that level, however it's still quite full on, and if you're not a fan of any gore and you can't handle violence or animated violence, then this might not be the series for you because it's quite confronting even though it's animated. That being said, I think whenever Japanese horror does tend to put a lot of gore or violence in their movies or anime, then there's usually a good reason. And it's usually done in a way which kind of enhances the story rather than detracts from it. And I think that's kind of possibly the difference there. That's what makes it okay for me. If it's kind of built into the story and it, moves the plot and the storyline along, then I don't have such a big problem with it. If it's just for the sake of throwing violence in there, then I'm not a huge fan of it. So that's kind of my take on it. So this is just a warning: if you don't like violence, if you don't like seeing violent stuff, don't watch this. No, it's not for you. Okay, so I guess that's pretty much it. Like, as I said, I want you guys to kind of experience it yourselves. I highly recommend it. It's something that I watched, I think within a day. I watched all 12 episodes. I kind of just marathoned it over a weekend, and I loved it. I absolutely loved it. I've watched a couple times since, and I highly recommend it. You guys should definitely check it out if you're looking for something kind of scary to watch in this Halloween-y season. Go check out another. It's definitely worth a bit of a watch and worth your time. Okay, so I guess that's it. It's very short. As I said, I don't want to give too much away. I want to let you guys kind of see it for yourselves. So if you've seen another, or you have any other kind of recommendations of things that I should watch, then definitely leave them in the comments below. I'm really curious to hear what you guys have to say. And also, if you guys like this, then hit the thumbs up. And also don't forget to check out some of my other videos on my channel. I do a lot of like Japan related stuff, so yeah, hit subscribe if you want to see more like this. So I really hope you guys enjoyed this. If you've got any suggestions of things that I should do and change, as I said, I'm just kind of trialing this out, so I hope you guys liked it. If not, I will see you guys next time. I hope you have a great day, and I will see you all later. Bye!